The chip mug warmed my hand as I stared out the kitchen window. Dawn was painting the sky a bruised purple, a fitting backdrop to the turmoil brewing inside me. Clara, my wife of 10 years, hummed a cheerful tune as she flipped pancakes, oblivious to the seismic shift about to erupt in our lives. Oblivious, or just expertly feigning it. The thought, cold and sharp, twisted in my gut. It had started subtly. A missed call here, a hushed conversation there. Clara, normally glued to my side on the couch, started taking long baths, almost nightly, phone clutched in her hand. My gut screamed at me, a primal warning I foolishly tried to ignore. I loved her, trusted her implicitly. But the seed of doubt, once planted, grew with tenacious roots. The confirmation, when it came, was a gut punch. I'd found her second phone, a sleek rose gold device hidden beneath a stack of sweaters in her closet. Its screen, still illuminated, displayed a string of sickeningly sweet messages from a contact named My Love. My world, once vibrant and secure, shattered into a million pieces. I placed the phone on the kitchen counter, its rose gold casing gleaming mockingly under the fluorescent lights. Clara turned, spatula in hand, a practiced smile on her face. "Morning, sleepyhead," she chirped. "Pancakes are almost ready. Who is my love?" I asked, my voice flat, devoid of emotion. The smile faltered, replaced by an expression of wide-eyed shock. What are you talking about?" I gestured to the phone. This phone. Who is he, Clara?" Her gasp was theatrical, almost comical. "Where did you get that?" That's not mine." The blatant lie, the sheer audacity of it, fueled the anger that had been simmering within me. "Don't insult my intelligence, Clara," I growled, picking up the phone. "These messages, these pictures, they tell a different story." Her carefully constructed facade crumbled. The color drained from her face, leaving her pale and trembling. She sank onto a kitchen chair, her eyes darting around the room as if searching for an escape route. But there was no escape. Not anymore. Over the next hour, the truth, ugly and raw, spilled out. The affair had been going on for 6 months. His name was Nolan, a colleague from her office. They met for lunches, stolen moments in empty conference rooms, weekends away disguised as business trips. My heart twisted with each revelation, a sickening blend of betrayal and disbelief. The next few days were a blur of anger, grief, and a cold, calculating desire for revenge. I moved out, found a small apartment, and threw myself into my work, using it as a shield against the pain. But the thought of Clara and Nolan, their illicit happiness built on my broken heart, gnawed at me. I couldn't let them get away with it. I started by subtly feeding information to Nolan's wife, Lisa. Anonymous emails, seemingly innocent photos taken at strategic moments, enough to pique her suspicion. Lisa, a sharp, intuitive woman, quickly put the pieces together. The confrontation, I learned later, was explosive. Then, I turned my attention to Clara's career. She worked for a prestigious advertising firm, a job she'd always prized above all else. I contacted her boss, a man I'd met on several occasions, and, without revealing the full extent of Clara's infidelity, hinted at a serious breach of company ethics involving a client's confidential information. An internal investigation was launched. Finally, I confronted Nolan directly. I found him leaving his office one evening, his face drawn and haggard from the fallout of his own imploding marriage. I didn't yell, didn't scream. I simply stood there, my gaze unwavering, and let the weight of his actions crush him. "You took everything from me," I said, my voice low and steady. "My wife, my home, my peace of mind." He stammered, trying to defend himself, but the words died in his throat. He knew what he had done, and the shame was etched on his face. "I hope it was worth it," I said, turning and walking away. I didn't need to see the devastation in his eyes to know that my words had hit their mark. Clara's world crumbled around her. She lost her job, her reputation, and, eventually, her lover. She tried to contact me, begging for forgiveness, pleading for a second chance. But the damage was irreparable. The trust, the foundation of our marriage, was shattered beyond repair. I didn't gloat. I didn't revel in her downfall. There was no satisfaction, only a profound sense of emptiness. The revenge, though meticulously planned and executed, hadn't brought me the closure I craved. It hadn't erased the pain, hadn't healed the wound that festered deep within me. Moving on was a slow, arduous process. Therapy helped, as did the support of my family and friends. I learned to forgive, not for her sake, but for mine. Forgiveness, I realized, wasn't about condoning her actions, but about freeing myself from the bitterness that threatened to consume me. Years later, I ran into Clara at a coffee shop. She looked older, wearier, the youthful vibrancy gone. We exchanged a few polite words, the ghosts of our shared past hanging heavy in the air. There was no anger, no resentment, just a quiet sadness. As I watched her walk away, I felt a pang of something akin to pity. She had paid a heavy price for her betrayal, a price that extended far beyond the consequences I had orchestrated. In the end, we were both casualties of her choices, forever marked by the wreckage of a love that had once promised forever. And in the quiet solitude of that coffee shop, I finally understood that true revenge wasn't about inflicting pain, but about finding peace. My peace. And finally, I had found it.